G'day guys, Jamari here with this week's Boss Outdoor Fishing Report. Similar to last week, the estuaries are firing. We've had a few warmer days the last couple of days, and that rain from the weekend has given all the systems a good flush out and the fish are biting. So just like last week guys, the fish in the estuary systems have really started to bite. With that rain flush out that we had over the weekend, all the systems were a bit discoloured. Generally, I like it, some people don't like it. Fish seem to be a little bit less leader shy, a little bit more inclined to eat lures closer to the boat. They don't care so much about boat traffic. Everything just kind of seems to get a bit stirred up, and all the bait fish obviously get flushed down towards the front of the system. And whenever there's that discoloration in the water, no matter what system you're in, your chances of a mulloway drastically increase. They just seem to get out and about and hunt when it's a bit dirty water. So speaking of mulloway, there's been a few fish caught over the last few days. Kyle Hansen getting into a couple good ones, and Kobe got a real cracking fish out of the Bega River as well. So well done lads, taking advantage of that little bit of rain runoff and getting after a few jewfish. So as for the fishing out the front here, the offshore flatties have probably been the most consistent over the last few weeks that we've seen in past years. It's been probably the easiest to get your bag of fish within an hour even sometimes. Places like Chura Beach, out the front of Chura Headland there, up towards Bournder Island, and then out the front of Haycock here as well, in about that 35 to 40 metre range. If you're not catching them, move, because most people are catching three or four fish per drop, so there's plenty out there. As for snapper, generally the snapper fishing's pretty slow this time of year. However, that big swell that we've just had over the last few days stirred up a lot of wash in and around the closer sort of snapper grounds. Down towards Eden's been producing some quality fish, even up towards that 60 centimetre mark, which is a really good fish for this time of year. So it's definitely still worth a crack to get after some snapper, particularly after a swell like we've just had. So another species to try is squid. The squid fishing out the front of Merimbula here has been pretty good the last couple of days. I've even heard of people getting over 10 squid in a morning. So those low light conditions, like always for squid, dawn and dusk, even a little bit before sunrise is kind of your prime time, that sort of twilight situation. This swell that we've had over the last little while would have stirred them up a little bit. They don't love turbulent conditions, but as it quietens back down, the water's warming up, the water's still relatively clear, the squid will still be there. So another tasty little critter that we should really start thinking about this time of year is prawns. We're coming into the time where prawns start to filter into all the estuary systems. Christmas prawns, and Christmas is just around the corner as well. So the new moon was last Thursday, so we're a week away from it now. However, the moon sets at around 2:30, 3 a.m. So there's a little window in the early morning of dark. Look for that run out tide, line that up with the dark, and you should get a feed of prawns. I know it's early season, but they are in here, and most people this time of year aren't cottoned on just yet. So in the channel down the front here of the Merimbula system, and Pambula as well, but mainly Merimbula because of the seagrass, trevally filter in through November, December is kind of our peak trevally season. They move up and down in the channel here with the tide, and we have seen good numbers start to filter in. Some better fish getting caught, lots of little ones as well. Often the schools will cruise along the back of the big black stingrays that move up and down the channel. So if you see a ray and it's got trevally on it, throw a plastic at it, you're more than likely going to pull one off. Logan, one of our junior staff members here at Boss Outdoor, got into a couple off this jetty right here that I'm standing on, straight across from the shop. I think it was 2 days ago. He was throwing some burley, getting quite a lot of fish to come up, and I think he ended up with like 10 trevally. So they're definitely around, and they're a very tasty feed of fish if you're looking for a feed. So another species that loves these warmer days that we've been having is Australian bass. So for all you freshwater anglers out there, bass season is well and truly underway, especially with these warmer afternoons we've been having. When that humidity levels drops and all the flying ants hatch, those are the sort of afternoons you're looking for. Yesterday actually was a perfect example of a good bass day. Top water fishing for them, it's excellent fun, super visual, and yeah, they pull hard. They're a great fish to target. Get out there and catch some bass. So that's all for this week's Boss Outdoor Fishing Report, guys. If there's anything else you need to know, whether it's boating, camping, fishing, or anything else outdoors, come in store, see the boys so we can hook you up.